Yo, welcome back. Nick, Adam's upstairs. We're doing the ICR today. Also, new hat. That's right. We found out I didn't lose it. My other half washed it because my other one was gross. So, and this time I bought a new one, so it's fine. Anyway, moving on. We're doing an EICR. I'm not going to film the EICR because we've done 100 EICRs. If you find anything interesting, I'll show you. But realistically, there's nothing interesting. It's an old rental where someone's moved out and left all their stuff. So we are nipping around old MEM board, no RCD coverage on the right, there is RCD coverage on the left on the sockets. We've looked around, visual inspection, there's no damage really to anything, there's just one pendant where the single insulation's hanging out, but I think the little plastic clip inside slipped so we can hook that back up. Yeah, so this one's going to be an interesting video, but what I'm going to do is keep getting asked quite a bit about, you know, sort of hand tools you use all the time. If you're starting as an apprentice or you're coming into the trade, what are the sort of main 5-10 tools that you would use all the time? So in this one I'll do it with hand tools. So let me get the majority of this done. I forgot to charge, well I charged my iPad, my daughter used it last night and unplugged it, so that was flat this morning. And then I've got the power bank out, charging all this sort of stuff as usual. So let's get some of the majority of this done. Adam's upstairs already testing while I'm filling the form out. And then I'll grab some hand tools out. The only thing I can say is, back to my daughter again. She's just the bane of my life at the moment. Obviously you've seen me, not these ones, 2 seconds. My new step cuts that I've got that aren't even that old. She decided the other day to go upstairs, pull this permanent marker out of my pocket, and instead of putting it back in here, in the sleeve, she decided to jam it in the pocket and covered all my brand new screwdrivers that I've recently got. You've seen in the last video, or wherever it was. Oh, that's an old one. Anyway, absolutely covered in blue ink, and I can't get it off, so that's annoying. Right, interesting one for you. This is how high the fuse board is. Very high. That's how I can touch off the floor. Anyway, this isn't there, PME, so you've got the cable coming out the top, fine. Then you come to the main supply in, you've then got what looks like a TNS supply then feeding up into the meter covered in electrical tape. So I'm not quite sure really. What do you guys do? So oh, here he is. Get off your phone please, I saw you. Adam was going around doing some visual stuff and we're checking outside lights and yes.
Tasty treat.
Tasty, tasty. Delicious. So we have checked it, we've tested it, there's no, it's been cut off, but this is old VIR rubber connected onto more rubber, and you can see what happens here with the deterioration through heat. I mean, why on earth that's coming out of the front of that, I can't tell. And they've tapped off that to then go down to another one, which is here. And then this one is, if you remember the rewire that Adam got stung by a bee, sorry, bit by a dragonfly, didn't you mate, in his face, there was the lead cable, which is that, which feeds out there. So good little find there, Ad, nice one. We're just going to snip it off and remove it, but there obviously was a lean-to like that here, but that's been cut off years ago. Right, now we're wrapped up on this place. It's only going to be a quick video to show you the tools that I use a hell of a lot, which come in handy, which either beginners or even guys that have been in the industry for a couple of years might not want to spend out on, or just never seem to come across that sort of thing. So here's a few, and this isn't a sponsored video for anyone. This is obviously the tools that I've got, and I'm just going to show you the different types. So standard, get yourself a good VDE screwdriver set. This is the one I just got sent again recently. This is the Vera one with the interchangeable handles and bits. Equally, I do have the standard ones. These are the slimline ones. As you can see from having my other ones, I'll show you the one in my pocket. I have thoroughly abused this, and this is the ink again off the end of my felt tip pen that my lovely daughter put in my pocket the wrong way. So that's that one. But a good VDE screwdriver set, you look after it and you care for it and you clean it and you don't knock out, you know, knock out mattresses with it and scuff the edges, and you use it as a chisel sometimes, which I do because you can't be asked to go to the van and get a hammer and a proper chisel. They won't last. None of them will last. But good VDE screwdriver set, 100%. Next one, which is what you've seen at the beginning. A good pair. I mean, I've got a pair of side cutters, which are here. I don't really use them. I've never been a fan of side cutters. They have their place every now and then when we want to cut things more flush. But yeah, we used to use the CK side cutters, not side cutters, sorry, the choppers. Same thing as these, but they're not actually rated to the same voltage these ones are. But yeah, these are thereabouts. I just love stuff. They've got the grooves in them, so you can strip off easier. They just need a good wash. I think I'm going to get some white spirit on them. Next one, see, this comes in handy depending on what you're doing. So this is the Tool Check Plus. So this is the thing that you saw me use ages ago. We use them for fuse boards. It's got the ratchet set. It's just a good all-in-one set to have. I think what these add about 70 quid, the Tool Check Plus.
I honestly have no idea.
I think so. That it is. It's not an essential one, but it's very good to keep in the van as it's got bits for sort of every occasion. Next 100% thing I'd say is get yourself a decent tape measure. We used to have the thinner Standy ones. There's another Fatmax one there. Just for downlights. I mean, we've got a laser pointer. We don't use it as much as we should, but get yourself a thick tape measure. That will sort of stand the lengths that you want to go out at. And I think that's only 10 quid. So get yourself. I've got about 4 of them in the van because they always get walkies. What we call the Jeff. These are the 7-in-1 cutters. So you've got the cutters, the strippers, the pliers. So these are always in Adam's pocket. These are my ones. Adam, show me, quick. Drawer. Oh. There you go.
Oh, I thought they were mine.
No, these are my ones. So these are always handy to have. He always keeps them in his pocket. I leave in my tool bag for as and when. I always keep a pair of, you know, the choppers in there, some screwdrivers, as you can probably see now. That's what I've got in mine, and I've got my long nose pliers in there from yesterday from doing the fuse board. Next thing on the list, I would say, from struggling for years and years and years and years, going in lofts, buying cheap torches off eBay, and then giving up and then using my torch phone all the time, phone torch all the time, which he still does every now and then. Well, obviously we invest in Unilight. You've seen me use these products all the time. This is the one with the power bank on it. This is the SLR 1750. Power bank's come in handy quite a few times, hasn't it, for GoPros and phones, but now we've got a massive power bank. It doesn't really need it, but the amount of light that these give off, and well, we've got a lot now, they're just awesome, especially in your lofts, fuse boards, dark cupboards. I used to really put myself through it and suffer for the lack of not having a good torch, and now we've got them. We put them on charge all the time. They do go flat. All batteries go flat, but we use them so much that we have to charge them up. That's what happens. Same with your drills. So get yourself a decent torch. Next thing, which you'll see, which are loads of people ask all the time. So these are my ones. These are the Nipex ones. These are the Ideal ones. They're exactly the same, just a different brand. Adam uses. You swear by these all the time, don't you?
Pretty much, yeah.
And we've got a new version of them. Is that them there? No. Oh, I don't know where they are. They're Ideal, but they're black ones. So these allow you to go into socket, strip within, leave a couple of mil of grey insulation inside the socket somewhere, instead of the old CK ones, which you put the cable in sidewards. It would never allow you to get properly into the socket. So these are a good investment. I think the Ideal ones, at top of my head,
like 40 quid-ish.
I think they're 30, 40 quid, but they're really cool to have. They're definitely worth it. And sort of the last thing is the armoured slice. You've only used it a couple of times, haven't you?
I've used it probably 10 times. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I've battered this. I've used it, and it probably needs a new blade in it. But from going from a hacksaw, some people like this, some people don't. I just think if you've got a good couple of arms to do in the garden with sockets, lighting, all that sort of stuff, when we did a lot of hot tubs back in the day, this is a godsend.
Fans easier to go on, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. You get a cleaner cut. I couldn't tell you. Everything I've listed here, I'll put below you so you can see costings and an Amazon link or whatever. But other than that, the next thing is, like you say, what tool bags you go for, power tools, but you could go on for hours talking about that. And where did you start? You know, I started with the tool tote, the Stanley one I bought you.
Yeah.
That was great, but the problem is how moist the back of my van was, as everyone thinks is funny. Everything went rusty, and I've still got some tools that were sat in there, and it didn't take it. But the new van's fine. But obviously now I've got the Vito one that I'm trying out, which is the MCT.
Yeah.
MCT. obviously we've got the Vera bags, the to-go bags that we test stuff in. You got your stuff in. I've got the Velocity van bag.
That's really good.
And you got the Unilight Velocity bag, which is still half and half using. You still need to transfer everything over, but all the other ones are very expensive bags. I think the cheaper ones with the Vera ones, because it's literally just a case with the inserts, and obviously you can attach all the stuff to the side, which is cool, which we do with all the testing stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, do I like having all the pockets and the attachments for that? So we're giving it a go, but if you're first starting up and you're an apprentice, you don't need to buy an expensive tool bag. It's not necessary. They all do the same thing. Most of the time you are just paying for the brand, aren't you?
Yeah.
Obviously the quality comes with the more expensive brands as well, but just have a think. If you want a new tool bag, you're setting up, get yourself a cheaper one, work through the stages of, yeah, this has done me proud, I've earned a year's out of it, upgrade it, try something else. So right, so probably it was a horrendously boring video, and I apologise. We thought we were going to be picking up some stuff fault-wise on the ICR, but it was almost perfect, really, wasn't it?
Makes a change.
It does make a change. No RCD coverage on half the board, more than half the board, but to regs-wise, there's nothing wrong with that. The socket circuit was covered, so if anyone was to use any accessories outside through the sockets, that's done. All the lighting, all the ceilings were so high in the bathrooms that are out of the zones for the lights, so yeah, it's just a bit of a strange one. Obviously the fuse board was too high, it was a plastic one, but it's one of them. But for more the apprentices type, I'm going to drop him on the spot. What advice would you give people? Because obviously you've been doing this a year and a half now, you're with me. You can't say how did you get the apprenticeship, because everyone knows that, we know each other. Yeah. But for people that are first starting, like you did, you were very keen, stuck in, you wanted to get your hands on the tools, you wanted to learn. What would you say to people, just, you know, confidence-wise with it, or just ask questions?
Definitely be confident, and don't be scared to ask questions. Like, the amount of questions I ask you.
Yeah, but that's the best thing ever. I see that you're interested in it, not because he doesn't sit on his phone. I make jokes out of it, you really don't.
Yeah, the only time you catch him on his phone is when you're filming.
Yeah, you should be, I'm paying you, so. But it's true, you know, don't go on your phone as much, you know, phones for lunch times, but equally we don't really stop for lunch most of the time.
No.
We eat through work, or we just don't eat. And if you and me are on a job...
But then we finish earlier, so it's like...
Exactly. And it's not of my choice, that's the way I've always worked. I don't really stop to eat. The quicker we get done, quicker we go home. But equally, when I employed you, it was like, do you want to stop for lunch? And you're like, no, just we'll crack on. And we do. We eat really healthy snacks all the way through the day. And, oh yeah, this should be a video for next week as well. Look at this. You naughty. What else have we got in here? We've got some disgusting old Marylands. Oh, we've not done it for ages.
Bundy 10.
Bundy 10, get amongst it. Troy.
Big Troy.
Yeah, gimbal.
I bet he hates me now, because I say that, but everyone thinks it's bad.
No, it's not. Oh dear, we're going to have a crash here. Anyway, we'll get back to it, stop waffling. So, advice, ask questions, be confident. I know it's difficult sometimes we go into, you know, a new situation where you don't know the people. It is awkward. But, you know, any other advice?
Like customer skills.
Yeah.
Like, so you soon like get used to customers and like how to deal with them. So don't be really shy around. Yeah, them. Don't be shy. Like, a lot of them just want to have a laugh and a joke, to be fair. Yeah,
and most of them, 99% are nice. You get the odd 1-2 misery guts, but we know how to deal with them.
They're not like horrible to you. They're just super nitpicky, like.
Yeah, I remember doing a video when you were talking to the customer. I was changing that fuse board. Remember in Derrington?
Yeah.
And you were talking to the customer, and it's the first time that you were like, oh, you're giving them options, you were giving them choice, and you were happily talking through it, and the confidence from then to what it was is gone through it. But obviously it helps that you know what you're talking about now, and you know, you can say to a customer, oh, I can put the light here, it's going to be easier for you, rather than, do you know what I mean? Because you do it every now and then, you try and make your life easy, but you can then say to the customer as well, if you do put the other side, the door's going to hit it, blah blah blah, that sort of stuff.
You learn as well, like, so you might make your life easier then, but you're going to get called back to change it.
Exactly.
Like downlights, like if you don't put them in the right place and you get like shadows and stuff, then you just get called back
to come and fix it again. And most of the time that's for free. It doesn't matter for you, because you get paid regardless. But
no, but still, it's like,
true. It's trying to look ahead. 100%. This is trying what I've tried to do with Ad from the start, is do every job as if you were going to show it off. Really, there's some jobs we cannot get neat and tidy that's circumstances with the house, time limits, all that sort of stuff, but most of the time you want to be able to do a job and you show the world and go, yeah, I'm happy with that. Like me with the FlexiCon, or people moaning the other week about me taking the cables outside and conduit. It should have gone through the cavity. I couldn't. We tried for an hour off camera to try and get up the cavity. It was impossible. So
yeah, literally, me and Aaron was at the top tugging and...
Yeah, I was outside, I was in the cupboard, we knocked a brick. It was impossible to do it, and I'm getting a lot of earache from people saying, oh, it looks unsightly. There was no other way to do it. We spoke to the customer, it is what it is. So I was happy, it was a neat finish on the outside to the best it could have been. So, you know, if you're gonna do a job, do it like you're gonna show the world. And if you're not happy with the way it looks, and there's a reason for it, then you're not trying hard enough, in my eyes.
Yeah, and don't, if there is like that situation, don't try and hide it even. Like,
yeah, don't try and
make the
cover
customer
it up.
aware and stuff like that.
Yeah, let everyone know what the situation is. Otherwise, at some point, someone's gonna get caught out. You make a bad name for yourself, or you get exposed. And I'm talking worst case scenario with this, but most of the time, do to the best of your ability. And like I say with each job as well, each job try and improve to the next. So change something that you can improve on. If it doesn't work or it's not as good, then you know not to do that again. You're always learning. So yeah. Anyway, I'll stop waffling.
Bye.
Bye.